There's a global epidemic going on, and it might not be what you think it is. I'm talking about the rise of nostalgiacore, the subgenre on the internet of using nostalgia for clicks, likes, or to just tell a story. I've been seeing nostalgia edits on my Instagram and other social media pages for years, but I've noticed recently that it's a lot more prevalent than ever, especially with YouTube and Instagram in particular. So I want to take a look at these videos and just talk about some stuff because I think the whole topic of nostalgia in these edits are really interesting if you look at them at a deeper level. I find myself also reminiscing over things a lot from the past, especially now that I've been going through a very transitional period in my life, and I want to talk about that too. Nostalgia edits are typically used to evoke a sense of familiarity and longingness with its distinct VHS old-fashioned style, and its use of ambient lo-fi music. Upon opening these videos, you will typically find people talking about how they miss their childhood, they miss the olden days, and some people will share very specific memories. A lot of these comment sections are really friendly. In fact, some of the most friendly comment sections I have ever seen in a video. It's full of people sharing childhood stories, talking about similar things that they miss, and people relating to each other in a universal way that you hardly see anymore. It's really wholesome to see, and it's really interesting seeing these edits bring not only me, but a ton of other people on the internet together to distract themselves from the chaotic world that we live in right now. One question I will often ask myself is, why am I obsessed with these videos, and why are other people obsessed with these videos? But I think it's just that. These videos remind me and other people of a better time, of a time when we were much more innocent and the world just seemed brighter. And I think this isn't just due to misremembering and being hyperbolic. I think it's genuinely the case. I mean, if you look at marketing today, not only when it comes to the art style, but general presentation of everything seems more bleak and toned down now. Restaurants, for example, like McDonald's, don't have that fun playhouse feeling anymore. Instead, they just look dull and lifeless and frankly depressing. Heck, even movie theaters looked a lot more lively back then, and I've been in a movie theater recently, and it's just sad to see what it has degraded into. Movie theaters aren't completely obsolete yet, but when you think about how they used to be back then, it sure feels like it. It could be due to the area I live in, because I live in a very rural area, but in all honesty, I don't think it's just that. Even on big movie releases, day of, I go into the movie theater and it's just empty. There might be a few other people in the theater with me, but I really don't see a lot of people at all. Most recently I can think of is the Sonic 3 movie, because that movie just is phenomenal for a video game movie and everybody was hyping it up, yet when I went it was just me, my brother, and maybe one other person. Media as a whole, whether it comes to video games, movies, cartoons, any kind of TV show, I feel like just had more effort and life and just personality back then opposed to now. Of course, nostalgia bias does exist, and I could be nostalgia biased for some stuff, but I think it genuinely is true for a lot of media, especially video games like I mentioned earlier. I'm not on the whole modern gaming sucks train. I think there's a lot of good modern games, but I will not deny I do think a lot of older games had more personality and effort put into them than games today. But if you look hard enough, you can find an experience just like the old PS2, GameCube, Wii era. You just gotta do some digging now more than ever. The thing that makes me most nostalgic is seeing video game edits or hearing childhood video game music. It always brings me right back to when I was a little kid playing one of my favorite games, and I really do wish I could experience that again. The game I think of most when I hear a nostalgic track has to be Donkey Kong Country 2, as it reminds me of when I would go to my grandmother's house during the fall, summer, basically year-round, and playing Donkey Kong Country 2 on her Super Nintendo upstairs. I have this one vivid memory of the game where I got to level 99 on the first level of the game, and I was so proud, and my grandma was just like, "Alright, that's really cool, come downstairs and eat dinner now." I vividly remember the sunlight shining through the window onto the carpet while I was playing this game and just huddled under the blankets. Heck, I even have this one random memory where I was walking through the grocery store with my parents and I was imagining that I was going through like different worlds in Donkey Kong Country with Diddy and Dixie, acting like each separate aisle of the grocery store was a different world and I had to fight enemies in the supermarket aisle. Little memories like this, I think it makes nostalgia core more impactful because it just reminds you of that innocence and playfulness that you had as a kid that you might not have as much of today. My whole inspiration for this video was actually this one specific nostalgia edit that said he's still inside of you, and it was a compilation of little kids like getting gifts and doing things, reminding you that the kid that was once inside of you, the kid that you once were, is still there. That kid with affirmations and dreams is still there, and I personally believe that part of being an adult is making that child like you feel safe with the person you are currently and feel happy and accomplished with the things that they wanted back then. You're always changing, you will always be a different person from who you were yesterday, but at your core, you're also the same person that you were since you were a little kid, since you were first born. We're in a state of constantly changing, yet never changing, if that makes sense. It's a perpetual cycle, and one could even argue a purgatory. Another huge reason why I've been wanting to make this video is because I found myself reflecting on a lot of stuff the past month because I made a huge leap with my personal life. To start, I'm out of school, graduated, I have my own apartment with my girlfriend, and I have my very first full-time job. And all of this happened within the span of like a month. It happened really quickly, but I was welcome to it. While I was scared and definitely a little anxious making this huge step, I welcomed it with open arms because I knew ultimately this is something I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to move on and move out of my house for a while, not because of any bad reasons. I've just been wanting to get a start with my life. And I've wanted to be somewhat independent for a while because it's just always been something I've wanted to do the last few years. Now that I'm officially moved in and working, I honestly love it. Yeah, of course I don't love working a 9 to 5, who does, but it's still all not that bad. I have more time than ever, more freedom than ever, and I've been doing a bunch of fun stuff that I've always wanted to do for years. This ties back to Nostalgia Core because one of the biggest things that Nostalgia Core focuses on is the event of hanging out with friends and exploring with friends. I've been doing that more than ever. For the past couple months, I've been just hanging out with my friends really late at night. We go to certain places, we go to abandoned buildings, we explore. As of recording this last night, my friends and I just walked around the town that I live in late at night, and it was such an ethereal and different experience despite experiencing it before with other people. Those little simple moments like that are what make me feel the most alive and what make me feel most connected with people and the world around me. And I think there's something important to be learned in that, and the fact that you should not rely on nostalgia and you should move on and not cling on to the past all the time. It's okay to reflect, it's okay to think about a funny or happy, even a sad memory, but you can't let that define your whole life, and you can't let it control you. Trust me, I've been there, and it's not fun being stuck in the past. It sucks realizing that you won't be able to experience that exactly, but here's the thing, you can still experience it just through a different lens. That's what I'm doing right now with my current life, and I want to exaggerate that it's okay to live an ordinary life. There is nothing wrong with it. Most of the time, I get off work, come back home, see my girlfriend, work out, go on a walk, come back home again, see her, go to bed, hang out with her, and stuff like that, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm calmer than I've ever been, and it might sound like what I do day to day is boring and not eventful, but I've come to appreciate that the ordinary is, well, you could say, extraordinary. I appreciate the people around me, I appreciate the opportunities I have with people around me, and I appreciate that I am here living in the moment and that I get to experience this simple life with other people around me. I feel like the internet doesn't demonstrate that enough. I feel like for your life to be interesting, the internet often says it has to be bombastic, you have to be rich, you have to be going, traveling to all of these places, doing all these things, and I feel like vlog channels especially emphasize that. While I do wish I was rich, traveling the world and doing a bunch of stuff, and I won't lie, that sounds awesome and it would undoubtedly make some aspects of my life more entertaining, I'm thankful for what I have now. Do I want more? Absolutely. It's human nature to always want more, but I'm content with not having that more that I yearn for. I'm content with the spot that I'm in currently. I think that is something everybody should reflect on and try to deal with themselves as well. You should constantly chase your aspirations and try to improve, but you should also learn to be content with yourself, where you are now, and what you can do to improve upon that. So don't just loathe and sulk for the past. I think you should embrace the past, embrace your memories, and move on and learn how to build that world that you once remember from the ground up again. Don't let the past consume you. Don't let nostalgia consume you. Use it as an inspiration to move forward and to try to experience the things that made you feel joy for the first time again, just in a different light. If you guys watch this video, I appreciate it, and I hope you like it, and I hope you subscribe, of course, but I just want to say thank you for watching this. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for giving this video a chance. I'm going to make more soon, and I might even start somewhat of a vlog channel myself to just demonstrate what it's like to live a calm, ordinary, simple life. And that's all I want to say. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. My name's Neem, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.